Só você ir lá ajudá-la.
Eu já acabei de...
Eu falo, vou chamar meu host again. Because I cannot...
Precisa fazer.
Mas é a primeira vez, por isso.
We're gonna have to go with it. I don't know what to do regarding the feedback.
Feedback because the voice is echoing?
Is it echo or is it because there's radio? It could be my...
Static. See if it's okay now. Still there.
Okay.
But is it feedback or echo?
It's radio? What is it?
Aquele dia estragou o corpo.
Our cables are not crossed, but I just put them on the floor. Is it unbearable? Like, is it super loud? I have no wire or anything.
Tira o som.
I'm gonna move my mic.
Did it work? Yes, work. Huh?
Yes. Okay. And welcome to Mondo Market TV. This is the Sparkle of Creativity show with Shahar and I'm super excited because today we have a fantastic show. This is going to be awesome. We have an amazing, super adorable gnome that Shahar is going to demo and show you how to do it. It's going to be super duper. But remember to share. Yes, let your friends know that we are live right now. We are broadcasting on the website mondomarkettv.com, and that is where you have the best viewing experience. However, you can also watch on Facebook or YouTube, whichever you prefer. I am monitoring those locations if you haven't.
Yes. Let's go share that.
Yes, let's do that.
I have to tell you, Happy New Year.
Ooh, yes, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Yes. And I want our guests to see Shahar as well.
I'm here.
Yes,
hello.
You are. Oh, look, you can even sneak in your...
I can come here. Then,
yeah!
I'm going back.
So give it just a second and you'll see Shahar and we'll get started here in a minute. Or do you want to swap with me? Locations?
No, that's why we fixed that. Go ahead and share. I can talk to you guys even if you cannot see me. You are going to see the demo. Here's the deal. We have a very exciting new year with Mondo Market. And
Shahar, how about if we swap so you can talk to the camera and they can see you, and I will do this over there.
I just don't want to swap everything.
Okay, no, we'll just swap you.
Hey, here, hello. So, here's the deal. So we have prepared a lot of new things for this new year, and you're going to enjoy them very, very much, I am sure. But for us, in order to do that, we have to test a lot of new technology. I don't know about you, but when it comes to technology, I have a love and hate relationship with that. Why? Because when it's work, it's fantastic, but when it doesn't, it's a huge headache. And to do what we do requires a lot of it, and to bring the new features requires even more, right? So be patient with that, because we are just adjusting so you can have the best year with us together. We have more shows coming up, yes. You're going to see that we are going to have a hiatus for a while, exactly to be able to bring all those shows here again. And when we come back, there will be some very cool changes that will benefit you most of all. And the best part of it, we are going to have a higher diversity of projects for you to make. All of them projects that are quick, they're easy, and they are affordable, but they have a huge impact when you show that to other people, when you give to other people, or when you sell. Because, you never know which situation you are going to need in the future. Now, for today's project, let me go. I'm going to disappear for a second. And I'm coming back because I want to show you what we are going to be making. So this is a sock gnome. And later I'm going to give you a close-up and show exactly how it's done. why are we doing a sock gnome? So I made a ton of these during Christmas time. Really, I made about 16 of them, different colors, a lot of things, even different colors of beard, like you can see on that product shot there. And it was a huge success, really huge success. So I had a bunch of requests. How do you make them? How do you make them? And I tried to send emails, but there's nothing like seeing, right? So then I thought, wait a minute, for me, gnomes have a higher connection, for example, with spring, right? And it's just that time of the year that you think about fairies and fairy gardens and gnomes. I have several. I actually have a special place in my living room that I call my sacred space, where it's just a table, but I put things that have a higher meaning to me. So, you know, something from my family, things like that. And I have, I think, 3 different types of gnomes. They're not sock, now it has a sock gnome, but the other are different. One is painted on a rock, the other one I sculpt in polymer clay. For me, they bring what's, you know, fantastic about nature, high energy. That's the meaning for me. I don't know what meaning they have for you. So I thought it is appropriate for any time of the year, right? And that's what we are going to be doing today, is showing you how to make this beautiful gnome, and then you can give your own twist. Of course, when I made the 16 gnomes that I did, some of them were very Christmas-like, and others I was thinking a lot about colors that people like, because I had in mind who I was going to give to. So I used a lot of blues, for example. Many of them are blue, and I did post them on social media most of the time, so maybe you have seen. Now I'm thinking, okay, let's create things that I can have in my home that will fit the decor there, and things that you know, can be related to spring. Okay? So this is the sock gnome. What do I like about it? First of all, you're going to see it's heavy. So one of the ingredients, the things that you need to create one is rice. Write that down. It's the best one to put. I did try with just polyfill. I tried with the acrylic palettes. Not the same result, okay? So rice works really well. I can use this even as a door stopper. So for example, in an office or something, it would be a very cute way of using this. So it is a little heavy, but on purpose. One thing some people said about filling dolls with rice, I'm always looking at all kinds of dolls out there, is that it could happen that you get some, I don't know the word in English, but it's the little tiny insect that can go into rice. It's very easy to avoid that. What you have to do is put the rice that you're going to use in the freezer for about 2 hours, and it will be safe to use. But of course, you can also try to wrap it with plastic or something and then use that. What else? So what should I do? Should I start saying what they need?
Yeah, let's do that. Do you want to? We can swap back to.
Let's go swap back. I love my own place.
Yeah, I know. I love mine.
Okay, so let's look.
I'm back.
Yes, you're back. Let's look at the gnomes first. I want to show you that these are only samples of what can be done. You are going to see that the big one with the big hat has a silver beard. That one is mine, is in my special place at home. So you can start varying them and even giving more of a spring look to the gnome. And if you start now, it's fantastic. So what do you need? So you need the rice. We talked about that before, right? About 2 cups of rice would do. I tend to put more. I do like all my creations chubby. I don't know why, but I like them chubby, so I tend to put more, but 2 would be the average. You will need white sock, 1 only. So you know all those lost socks that you have at home? You might want to use 1. And then the fluffy socks, I don't know if they have a special name or not, but they're very fluffy, very nice to the touch. Have two different ones. So for example, in this case, we are going to use the plain purple and this variegated one as well, 1 of each, okay? Then you need some thread like either crochet thread, that's what I use because I have it all around the house. You can use upholstery thread as well.
Oh.
Anything that is very strong, that's fine. You need loom bands. What are loom bands? Look at here on the table. These are very tiny elastics, right, that we have, and they are used for people that have looms. They do, you know, those beautiful shawls and scarves. They are perfect for this, okay? So have some of those. Then for the beard, you need the fake fur that you buy in any craft place. I think they are sold this square, so it would be enough for 4 gnomes. And you have all kinds of colors, and that's the fun of it. You can have some that are brown, some that are white. Very simple, they are inexpensive. Do you need to use that? Not really. You can create the beard with other material, like for example, if you have wool roving, you can create. If you have like Wensleydale locks, beautiful lamb locks, you can use. So they are going to have a total different face based on that beard. So let your imagination go. You don't have to be stuck with that. You need hot glue in this case. It's necessary, the hot glue. I need the styrofoam cone.
Oh.
This is very easy to find. You find in the floral department of any craft store or in the styrofoam department when they have that. You do have 2 different sizes of this cone, and you can see here on my gnomes that I have used both of them. So I have some that are shorter hats and bigger hats. It's just a matter of preference. I made most of my 16, I made with the smaller ones, but I do love the big ones, and we are going to use the big ones. Now, when it comes to using the styrofoam, you're going to see that depending on where you're shopping, they either come in this styrofoam that has some open cells, and they either come in white or green. See? So you have this type, and then you have that styrofoam that is really like the one I grew up with, that you don't have this open cells. I like that one more. It's just easier to manipulate, but you don't find it all the time. So if you don't find it all the time, use this one. In case you don't find the cone, what do? You don't cry. That's never a good idea. In the floral area, you have another styrofoam that is a cone that has a flat top instead of a pointy top. It's from another type of foam that you use with wet flowers. You can also use that one. You just have to cut the top into a narrow top here. Very easy. That kind of foam cuts like butter, so it's very interesting to use. You just don't have the big one. You have one that is more or less like this. So more or less the size of the small hats that we have here. Easy, right? And what else do you need? You need something to cut the styrofoam. I found, and this is actually what we are going to be offering you today, this is a foam cutter, right? A foam cutter, which means that if you work with the EVA foam, cuts like butter as well. If you work with other types of foam, maybe to make puppets, cuts really well. It's very handy. And you're probably thinking, no. When you cut styrofoam, you need those hot things that you go through. Well, they are fantastic, right? But here's the thing. Because usually the filament that gets hot is this way, it's perfect if you want to cut this, if you want to cut any other way, but deep. They are not for that, right? Yeah. And if you have smaller spaces where you can cut, the control with that is not easy at all. This one will do the trick really well. Okay, I like it a lot. I like to cut it, and it comes with the long blade, and it comes with a small blade for more details. I'm using this because the cut I'm going to do is very basic, so this one will work a lot better. As usual, launch price is special, is lower than the normal price, so today, during the next 24 hours, is the best time for you to acquire one of that. You are going really to like, to the point that I'm renovating a vintage camper, and I now have to do the upholstery. So, you know, when you go and you quote, it can get very, very expensive. So I bought a mattress top from memory foam, which is a good type of foam, and I'm cutting that to make everything. One will fit my whole camper. This is what I'm using to cut, and it cuts really well. So it's useful for a lot of things. And of course, a pair of scissors, right? That's it. So you can see that from now, you can see how inexpensive the whole project is for you. Woo! I talk so much, but it's important, right? Okay, so let's start making our gnome. You're going to start with the white sock. So let me put the other way. We are not going to need that. And we are going to cut a straight line right here, okay? From the heel to the other part, okay? Very simple cut. And I'm going to show you in a second how it looks, okay? So don't worry if you're not looking at that right now. So just this, see? Here is where the heel starts. If it bothers you that it's not totally straight, cut a little bit more, but this is what we are going to be using. What do you do with the other part? You save, because you can use in other sock animals, and you can even use as a hat later for the gnome. We are going to do it in a different way today, but if all you have, for example, is this, you can still do the hat. I'll show you later how. And then you open, and you start adding the rice. So this is like the in layer of the gnome, okay? I'm going to try to not make a mess. And so I put a cup, and what do? I do like this. I want all the rice to go to the bottom, because I do want mine to be heavy and steady, so it doesn't shift shape a lot, okay? That's the main reason. And that's also the reason that many times I use more than 2 cups for that. So then I keep filling. That's all I'm doing. Let me take this out of the way, so you can see better. And this is such a quick project. I did time myself when I was making all the other gnomes. Here starts Shahar making a mess. And it took me about 15 minutes each. That's what it took. Now, the response that I had around this was really huge. So I didn't try to sell, but I know it's an easy sales, especially if I get the beginning of spring to start selling. It's going to, and I'm really thinking, you can see I already have more. I'm really thinking about that, right? And it's so unique, people love. Okay. Here we go. So I put almost 3 cups at this moment. Let me see if it's how I want. You see that as what is happening here, the air is getting out, right? And I can make it heavier if I want, and I can make it chubbier if I want. I like that. So allow me to add more. It's really here more of a preference, because I can work with 2 or 3 cups if I want. I don't have to feel like I'm doing, but I do like them chubby. Okay, doing this again. Of course, I buy the cheap rice for this, right? It's not the best one, the one that you cook with. You just buy a bag in a supermarket, and it's cheap. Okay. So that's it. I posted, it's not social media. I put a lot of rice on my guy here. What am I going to do? I'm going to secure this so I can work with this, okay? So I get my loom band, which you also find here today, and I would get a bag because they're useful for many, many things. Are you back with me? I'm back. Woo! Looks like you went to another country, you came back.
I've missed you.
I made a mess as usual, because if I...
That's just part of the fun.
I think so too.
So you have the body of the foundation, the beginning of your gnome. Mm-hmm. Should I tell them about what we have?
Yes, why not?
Why not? So
I can breathe because I've been talking.
So I'll actually make this super simple for you. Look, we have these very cool foam cutters, and Shahar will show you how to use them here in a minute when we get to the head of your gnomes. But we also have these right here that you can see, these little rubber bands, and they're just the loom bands. They're just the right size for you to be able to do this, and for you to be able to create this, the nose. So when she gets to the nose, you'll hear all about it. But these are just right for you. All you have to do is go to mondomarkettv.com, during the next 24 hours, and you can get these. We have them at a very cool, very super introductory price, so take advantage of that. I mean, it's less than a dessert out, I'm telling you right now. MondoMarketTV.com, that's where you go, and you can get your foam cutter. You'll see how these will make your life a lot easier and less messy, as well as the loom bands, and you'll see how elemento they are when you're creating the nose of that gnome. So go there right now.
Which we are going to do right now.
Yes, we're getting to the nose. So you have the body.
So I have the beginning. It's the beginning of the body, okay? Now I need the nose. How do I make that nose? And you all might be thinking, it's so complicated. No, it's so easy. Look at this. I start moving the rice. That's another reason I like a lot of rice, because I can make a huge nose, and gnomes with huge noses are so fantastic. I get another loom band and I secure that. So there's some rice coming up here. There's so much here. So I like to go twice just to hold this. And I have my nose. See, and this is going, why is this doing here? Because I just had excess. It's not that it's getting out. So you're just getting
rid of the excess.
Yes. And you see, here's one thing. Technically, you could stop and just use the loom bands and not worry about it. But we are going to be dealing with hot glue. What happens if the hot glue, by mistake, touches the band?
Ooh, does it just break it?
It is elastic. It's going to melt right away. So just for safety, and because you want your pieces to last, because, you know, that's the whole purpose of you spending the time making something unique. Not the whole purpose, but one purpose, is that it's going to last. So you get a thread. I'm using a crochet thread, and make a couple of knots. The loom would hold this really well, the loom band, but this is safety, okay? And I told you before, I'm kind of paranoid with this kind of stuff. So I want to make sure it's going to last. So I make this here, hold my nose, and cut the excess. I'm going to show you in a second. So I just did two knots.
And even, do you mind if I touch? Just like from this angle, you can see, you get a better perspective of the size.
Isn't that beautiful, the huge nose?
I love it, yes.
Yes. And then I do the same thing here.
The nose adds personality, I find.
Yes. And you might not like big ones, so you just put the last rice, okay? Here we go.
What would you use these gnomes for, Shahar?
Well, for decor is the best thing, right? To welcome spring. It's nice as door stoppers.
That's what I was just thinking.
I think they're fantastic.
Door stoppers would be so much fun.
You have this gnome as your door stopper, and then on the other side where the wall is, you have the fairy door.
Like a fairy door?
I hope you have a fairy door at home. I mean, I'm really, this is really kind of a must in any home. You know why?
Why?
Well, because you know there are fairies, right? But they live in their place.
Fairyland.
The fairyland. So you need to have a door at your home where they can come and go, right? So you need to have a fairy door, and it can be made of anything. Mine are made of polymer clay, and you put them around the house so the fairies can come and go. Anytime you need a little extra fantasy, magic, and help, they are there for you. I actually have my door at the house, and I have, mimicking that door, a tiny one right at the door. And I have inside the house. It is super cute. So then you need the gnome to accompany that. So we have the body, and we have the nose. What are we going to do? We are making him more fashionable. So you are going to choose one of the colors, and you're going to cut the same place you cut the other one. Oh, nice. So I'm going to show you just a straight line here on the heels, nothing else, super simple. Okay, cut that. And then you open and you put all this in here. Dun-ta-da. And depending on the sock, there is more work than you saw at first. This is going to protect. The rice is not going to poke too, and it's going to do a better look. With the fluffy socks, if you do the rice here and not have the first layer, what is going to happen is that the rice is going to start poking through the holes. And why? Because it's the weaving here is a lot more open than the white one. So you want to have the white one behind. And this is what I need to do. Okay, so I can put a loom band here. I'm starting to show up, but I like to glue.
Okay.
So in this way, it's going to
Just to make
stay.
it more secure, you like to
Yes.
glue it.
Just make sure you adjust that whatever seam is in the bottom, and then come with your hot glue. Be careful always. And I go first around the nose. And you're going to be
Are you putting a fair amount of glue in that?
Yes. I don't need a fair amount in this spot, but I do just in case, okay? You never know. It goes to a home with kids. It's not really a toy. It's a home decor item, but they're going to be touching. And then I do the same here. So I'm putting glue, and it burns, so be careful.
And it burns,
burns, burns, the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Do the same here. Glue, do the same in the back. The idea is when you give this away too, nobody's going to start looking around and seeing what's in here, how it's done, right? That's not the purpose. Okay, look at this. So the body of my gnome
is cute.
Is done. I can come with the beard now. And the beard, you just, and then it can be longer, it can be shorter. It's up to what you want. I like kind of long. You just cut a square. You eyeball this. So look here from the top. I have the whole piece. I need to cut just this square. So let's cut so you see. I have one. I'm going to use the white now. One trick I learned that with Tammy Everslage is always to cut using just the fabric part. So you don't go with your scissors and you cut like this, or else the beard will have a straight line, even though you can trim. But it's better if you try to grab most of the fabric and not the, see? So when mine comes out.
Very nice. Then it looks more natural.
More natural, right? And then what do? Why don't we do one with gray? I don't know why. Let's do it. I just cut an open space here for my nose. Do I measure? No need. Okay? So in this case, I'm going to cut everything, including the fur. And then here, on the corner of my thing, I'm going to take this corner out. So again, I take just the fabric, cut as much as just the fabric that I can.
And that's
because
just a
corner.
styling
Well,
type
I
of
don't
thing.
want it to be looking square when I put on my gnome. Where did it go? Okay. And now what do I have to do? I have to put
it on.
Look at this. It already gives a personality, right?
Yes.
Simple. So all I have to do now is glue this to the face. Okay? So I'm going around. Put a fair amount of glue, because if it gets in the hands of kids, again, it is not a toy, but they are going to pull that beard. That's one of the first things they try to do. So it needs to be secure. Okay? And I put it around. Doesn't have to come all the way, because there will be the hat here. So now I have my beard. Look at me. Oh, I look like an old guy now. See?
Yes.
So now it's the hat.
Woohoo.
Okay? See how fast it is? We are almost done with this.
And just, yeah, see from the side, look at him.
Yeah.
That's the...
Isn't
very
that fantastic?
Cool. Yes.
Okay. And of course, you can spend some time now. So if you think this, if this is a door stopper, I kind of love the fact that I have enough beard. But if you don't, if you wanted to stop here,
trim it.
Trim, you know, make it nice, and then you're done. And then always clean, because of course we were cutting for. Okay, now I go to my cone. Ta, 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 ta. I basically, think here with me. If I just put this here, it's still very interesting, but it's going to look weird. It's a lot better if it does like this, right? Like really, if the head is inside. You don't want to tell people it has a body and a hat. You want to tell the story that this is a real gnome, as real as a gnome can be. So we are going to do two things here, and I'm bringing a container just not to make a super mess, because it is a styrofoam. I'm going to slant, so I have one side that is smaller than the other. Here's when I come with my super knife, the foam cutter from knife, because again, it gets easier this way. And I just go in, and I want to take a chunk out. So I leave this intact, this part here, and then I go. It makes some noise.
It makes noise, but I like
I hope people are enjoying this.
I like, you know, I've used foam cutters before, like ones with heat, I do like this very much because those other ones are way too delicate.
Well, they break a lot,
easily.
yes. And when we are going to be working in depth, like deep into a piece, there is no way to use those. Okay?
True, yes.
This part here, yes, I could. I also like one thing that people may say, whatever. This one I can keep together with my pliers and stuff, and I do this. I don't have to go look for the piece, put in the power.
You don't have to turn it on.
You wait, it's there when I need it. So if you see here, you see that I have a tiny slant.
Like an indentation.
So when I'm going to put, once it's done, it's going to come right to the nose. This is what you want. This is a very important part. But now I need to create the space for the head, right? We need to create space for the head. So I'm going to cut a hole here that is about an inch. I don't need a lot, okay, because I really don't have a head. So I'm going to leave about an inch around for the safety of the structure of this piece. So when somebody comes and touches it, it's like, how beautiful. You are going to see that everybody grabs them by the head, everybody. So you want everything to be intact, not break apart. So that's why you're going to leave at least an inch here. And how do you do this? So this is when this amazing foam cutter comes in place, because you see it has this point here. So I can insert this very easily into the, it makes a lot of noise, but it's easy. And then I use like a bread knife. I like to do like this. You can keep doing just this and going, but I kind of like to do this. And I first go all around to have the circle that I want, okay? And you can go as deep as you want. I'm not going very deep because, again, I really don't have a head there. I just want to mimic a head for my gnome, okay? So I go all around. And the other thing I do, I go in a diagonal and I poke around, because now I have to take this piece out. And as you all are very aware, it's still attached here at this part. So this will make a little bit easier. And you can also see that it doesn't make a lot of mess. So you can do this in your studio if it's indoors, okay?
It's actually I'm surprised at how little mess it makes.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised too when I started.
These foam cutters are fantastic. I also like because they have an ergonomic handle to them. They fit just right in your hands. It comes with 2 serrated knives. So it comes with a longer one for the heavier type of projects. So for example, this, it's perfect for this gnome, but it also comes with a shorter blade for the detail work. So I would encourage you to go to mondomarkettv.com. Super deal we have going on. Normally $750, today $550. You can get it. You can get your foam cutter, and these are fantastic. And these gnomes are super fun to make. You saw it. And while you're there, you can also get these loom bands. The little loom bands make it they're just perfect for the nose. Yeah. I mean, you can use, you can try with other ones, but these are just right. They're the size that you need, and they're tight just right. They're not super fragile, so they won't just snap on you easily. So while you're there, get those as well. mondomarkettv.com. The special promo is during the next 24 hours, so be sure to go there right now, okay?
Yeah, don't waste an opportunity, right? So now I have to detach this part, and you know that it's attached here. So I can do this with the knife, but I want my knife to last for a long time. So I just get a pair of scissors, a metal spoon, whatever, and I do like this to take it out. And that's another reason why you do need that inch of protection, because you're putting some strength here. I'm just pulling, I'm not cutting. Okay, and at home, I also, sometimes I have a very good plier. I just grab the plier and take it out. So you have used the knife to create, see, I have a circle.
Ta-da!
I don't need this to be smooth or anything, because really nothing is going in there.
It will be hidden.
It will be hidden. But I have my protection, I have it round, I created the design. Now, I bet that when they created this amazing foam cutter, they did not think about the gnomes. So let me just clean so you can see now the next step. So it's pretty good for an unexpected use, right? Because it's supposed to be used with foam and styrofoam and things like that, but not like this. Okay, so now the part that is shorter of my hat is the part that I'm going to put to the front. Let me see. Yes, here. Okay, so look at this. Now it looks totally different, right?
It totally does. And show from the side so they can see that profile view, because that shows the slant.
Look at this. Yeah. Yes. So I have the long part here and the short is perfect. This one is also cut, so I cannot show you the difference. But let me open another one and you're going to see, whoa, big difference. It also helps me open my packages. That's how useful it is. And for example, this is a brand new one, so I didn't cut below.
Would you like me to open that for you?
It's okay. So see, the one with the 2 cuts, because that's all you did, 2 cuts, the one without a cut.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely no doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
This really doesn't tell a story. It has that just a crafty look that, like, let's put something together that is really doesn't have anything. This one becomes a gnome. So that's what you want, okay? Now I have to glue this. When you're gluing this, you have to glue. Because again, everybody is going to grab like this,
yes.
Even you.
Even
so
me.
Yeah, everybody. So it has to have glue here.
So
we are going to put a
grab
lot.
that glue gun and you're going to squeeze that handle.
Yes, and I do suggest if you have any more than one glue gun, that you do use the bigger one. I'm using the small one, but the bigger one puts more glue out, right? So in this case here, that's what you want. Okay, for the details, for the rest, the small one would do. See, and it ends up not eating all your small tubes. So I only have this touching the inside. Okay, this is the only part that touches the inside. So it's very important that I have glue here, but all around. Okay, because you want to make this sturdy. And you do have to work kind of fast. Like, for example, if the glue ends right when you're doing this, that's not very good because you're wasting time and the glue dries. So you have to do it again like I have to do right now. And you pull it around a lot. And I use my chin sometimes to do it when the glue doesn't help. And I put here as well. And then, there you go. I put in my gnome and I hold and I wait until it's totally cold. Okay? If I start working right now, this is going to be to undo later. Add more glue. This one is not putting out as much glue as it should. Put more glue. Spend your glue here because it's worth. Okay? So I wait until it is really, really dry, and then I come with the finishing part.
Yay!
That is covering this beautiful thing.
Love him.
You love them?
I love him.
I get the sock, another fluffy sock, and this one you're going to use entirely. And then I'm going to show you the difference.
The whole sock? Really?
The whole sock.
Wow.
Because, why? You have the big cone. This is the biggest they sell. So it can take all the sock. When you're doing the small one, you may want to cut. You don't have to. You can make it work as well. But the heel, this is important. The heel needs to go to the back. And you think it's just a sock gnome, but think how many things go into that, right?
Exactly.
So you have a final result that is really cool. And then you just put, okay, once you go over.
Yes, I love it. That
if it's
color
not
goes
well
really
glued
with the
here,
gray
this
beard.
is the time you are also going to put more glue. So you see that I like the wrinkles here, right? So you just adjust them where you want them, and it creates more. Oh,
yes.
It's so cute. This is so fluffy. So now what do you do? So you can see that you really don't see where the heel is at all.
Yeah, it completely disappears.
Right? Fantastic project. And now that's what I do. I glue this on my gnome because again, I don't want somebody, oh, I love this, so cute. And then they do this to see how you did it, right? That's not the purpose of this. So I'm going to go around with the glue and glue everything. So nobody needs to know my secrets, right? Other than the whole world watching. So I put some on the styrofoam as well and some on the sock. And especially here in the back, I make sure I put on the sock because it gives a nice look, okay?
By the way, Elaine Tucker said, how cute.
It's super cute.
Regina said, he's precious.
Yes, he's adorable. I mean, I asked Nashla. I made 16 of them for Christmas to give to people.
Everyone got a gnome.
I went everywhere getting socks because I just thought I love making this.
So now, of course, for Christmas, you got Christmas colors, socks that are Christmas colors, things like that. I love this gnome because it's not just for Christmas. You can, like you're doing today, you have the blues, the purples, any color really. You can just have fun and have this as a decoration piece.
You know, maybe it's a cultural thing, but I don't relate gnomes to Christmas. I never did. So this is kind of new to me here that people do. For me, gnomes represent nature, right? It represents magic, the fantasy, a lot with spring because of nature. And for me, it's an omen of good luck, actually. I like having them around.
And they're fun.
And they are super fun. So here you have, and it's adorable. I'm sorry. Adorable. I'm going to turn all around.
Show him from all
so
the
I'm going
angles.
to leave the beard until,
What?
Nashla.
What?
There's one other thing that I do.
Oh, wait. I have a question then you can tell me.
No, you don't have to do this. I do. Because again, I'm thinking of people, what is this? Right? And touching. I do glue my beard as well
to
later.
The body.
I don't want them messing around with the beard and seeing this is whatever they think this is. I want them to see just as a beard. So I put some glue to avoid.
Does he have a home, this one?
No, not yet.
He does.
I think he does. Don't you have one already?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh. So, are you sure?
Yes,
Oh,
positive.
I thought everybody had their home. So, look at this. See, now, if somebody comes and touch, of course, if you think about it, you figure out what it is. But the purpose is the story lives by being a gnome. And this is a gnome.
Ta-da!
Ta-ta.
Now a question. I noticed on some of your sample pieces, the hat has a little fluff at the top. How did you do that?
So, good point. I said I was going to show. So you see that this one is the long cone. This one is the small cone. I can do the same thing. The only thing is I'm going to have wrinkles, more wrinkles here, which is an adorable thing too. But, you know, I don't like to keep wasting stuff. So I can come with what is left from my sock. I just cut enough to be straight. Again, remember we cut by the heel and we discarded this part. After you do some, you have all kinds of combinations, right? Because you always have the leftover. And the part that it would go to your knee, to your ankle, I leave out at the top, okay? And then I put on the gnome, like this, okay? Loom band. Let's pretend it's just the styrofoam cone here, right? And I do this 2 or 3 times. I don't need to come with a thread, but you can, okay? Oh, wait, and there you go. It can go one more time here. And I have the other hat. Fantastic, right? It's very, very simple. And you can see here that, here it shows the color of the other one that is below. But or else it would just be closed. You can come with a thread and tie that as well, and then you glue the same way, and you have another gnome.
Very
so
fun.
You're not, you know, you're using the socks, because if you don't make a lot of sock toys, at some point you're going to have a lot of these parts, because, you know, a lot of things that we do with socks is with the last part of the sock. So you give it a purpose to this one as well.
Fantastic.
Huh?
And there you have it, an adorable gnome. Look at this little guy, so much fun, so cute.
Adorable.
Adorable.
This one is
fast
adorable.
to make. I love also that it's a fast project.
Yeah, here we stop, we talk, we answer questions. At home, like I told you, I did time. 15 minutes you make a gnome. Yes, 15 minutes. Especially if you know you're going to make 5 or 6. Let's say you want to give to grandchildren or spring welcome kind of gift. You cut 4 beards. You cut all the styrofoam at once, so you decrease the time. You go into a production line. With this kind of stuff, if you're going to a bazaar, I'm going to try myself. I haven't tried, but I have 100% certainty that this, on the price of $30, $35, would go like crazy, because everybody loves a gnome. right?
Yes.
And this is a cool one to have, a one that you actually can even play with.
Love him. So, well, you know what to do, right? You know what to do. MondoMarketTV.com, that's where you go to get your foam cutter so you can get started on these awesome guys. Foam cutters are fantastic. They come with 2 serrated blades, a longer one for the bigger projects and even a smaller one for the details, for the small details. Of course, we're not, in this case, there were no small details. You would use the big long blade, but then you know that you have it for your future projects or if you want to make smaller gnomes, because you can as well, right?
Yes.
You're not limited to the size there. We also have the foam bands. The foam bands are fantastic because they're not super flimsy. They don't break that easily. They're just the right size for you to use it on the nose and for you to use it on the hat. And so I highly encourage you to get those. They come in some fun colors. You can see them right next to me here. MondoMarketTV.com. That's where you go during the next 24 hours. We have a special going on, so you can get for $5.50, for just $5.50, normally $7.50. You can get the foam cutters, and you can get the foam bands, and they're just right. They make phenomenal projects. They're fast. I mean, you heard it. Shahar said 15 minutes. You can get this project done. You'll enjoy the process, and you'll create beauty because these are super adorable.
I'm ready to take mine home.
Yeah, wait a minute. That one's mine, we said.
I don't know about that. He's adorable.
Yes, he totally is. I love him.
Okay, you can take home.
Oh,
But you have to take good care of him.
Oh yes, I'll take awesome care of him.
Good. And you have to make your own. See,
that's right.
Go
you
look
do.
around the house. You may have bought socks during Christmas, right? You may have the socks there. Get the knife and the loom bands. You're set to go. Rice, everybody has a home. And get cranking.
That's right. Get cranking. All right, Shahar. Well, thank you. This has been so much fun.
My pleasure.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for joining us, for your participation. This has been super awesome. Now stop by Mondo Market TV to get your foam cutters and your loom bands and go make some gnomes.
Yes.
Until next time.
See you next time.